This is your boy Big Business, and you are behind the scenes. Make sure you tune in and check it out.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, honestly, I do MC work as far as hosting. I throw events, as you can see, big business events. Some of the events actually benefit area food banks. That would be one thing. Also, kind of present on the music scene as well, throwing events. So kind of like events, entertainment, different things. It just depends on what the day is.
What was the purpose of the web series, What's Real Hip Hop?
What's Real Hip Hop? Well, that's a little bit of a story. I would say that some people don't know, some people do know. I used to do music pretty heavy for about 10 years, from about 2005 to 2015. Got on the radio, 95.7, and I got to a point to where I wanted to grow. You know, a lot of music people, they grow into different things as far as acting. They may want to grow in a different realm as far as opening their own label. It's not about you anymore. So I would say that what I wanted to take on was different projects that benefited other people. It wasn't about me and my art anymore. It was really about other people and collaborating and getting together with other people who were talented and making a larger goal. It had to be about more than just me. So what's real hip hop? Really, it was just a question. It's very engaging. What is real hip hop? There's a lot of different things going on in terms of old school versus new school, having a message in your music versus, you know, trap music or music that glorified, certain elements of the culture. So I wanted to explore that. I wanted to explore that through interviews, the community component as well, because music always speaks to the community, but we have to use that, and I wanted to explore how it's being used. So it's just a provocative question. So that web series went for about 3 years.
Why did you stop making that show?
It was a great run. We, shout out to Rico White. We ran that show for 3 years. I ultimately would like to see it be passed on to a younger generation. You know, I compare it to what happened with Don Cornelius and that dance show that he had. What was the name of that show he had? Dick Clark had the one show, and he had Soul Train. You can only host that show for so long before you have to let some new blood come in there, like Shamar Moore started to host and things of that nature, because you need young blood, you need a youthful energy to speak to that younger generation. And I moved on to trying to create film to speak to multiple generations, not just through music, but also through visual arts as well.
That sounds interesting. What is the movie 2020 Vision about?
It's about a young 20-year-old college student who was going through a couple of different situations. I play the father, a 40-year-old single parent trying to raise a 20-year-old. It had multiple talented people in it, different musicians, different artists, different creatives, and he's trying to figure out which way to go, because a lot of times when you're trying to figure out your identity between 18 and 26, there's a lot of different ways people are being pulled. So it really discusses these two main issues: mental health abuse, mental health awareness, and substance abuse. So he's kind of trying to figure it out, and it kind of gets a little hectic for him around his 21st birthday.
What was your process like making your first movie?
Well, the process, I'll be honest, it was extremely difficult, because as a quote-unquote producer, you have to play multiple roles. So a lot of people who are not in movies, they may not know that you have to have, extras, people who go over the lines to prep people for the different things. And I had to take on a lot of those roles and responsibilities myself, probably about, honestly, 5 or 6 different hats. I did have a casting director, shout out to Dewan Cole. He's been on several different productions. Most notably, last year he was on Chicago PD as a guest role appearance, so a nationally televised show, and he helped me with the casting process, but a lot of the on-set things, timing issues, people being late, people trying to emerge into being actors, because I was trying to make it a new experience for some of those individuals, and they were first-time actors. Some had acting experiences as well, so it was very challenging trying to balance all of the different personalities, but ultimately we became a family on the set, so it did work well while we were shooting, definitely.
Would you do anything different looking back at that process?
Well, I would say I would do two things different. I just have to keep it real. I would make sure that everyone who was starting the process was dedicated to the process, because a lot of people have egos, and sometimes when those egos don't get stroked, they feel a certain kind of way, and their involvement or their dedication to the project starts to waver because of emotion. And sometimes people don't communicate that. They just fall back and don't put in the work to make the project as good as it could be because of their emotional status as far as where they rank as far as involvement or how they feel about what their involvement is. That's number one. If you're going to do something like that, you need to be dedicated to that process. And another thing is, you have to own and be responsible to the team. You have to own it and be responsible to the team, because there's 10, 11 different people involved in this particular project, and what happens is you're only as strong as the weakest link. You're only as strong as the weakest link. So it's just like on a football team or a basketball team, project completion is like a championship. But if you have people who are on the team who are dedicated to trying to win the chip, what's going to happen is, you're going to have things fall apart in the playoff rounds. And I'll be very honest, most of the people involved were very dedicated, but we did have some people who, they want to start and roll. And once the appeal is not there, we had a couple of issues. Now, the majority of it did go well, but what we ended up doing was actually making a documentary about the process, and the movie's not actually going to come until later, because the process of making a movie for the first time, it was so challenging, but yet still interesting and enriching. But people need to understand, I'd rather people know what you have to go through to be successful, and not just try and feel like if you don't make it the first time, I need to give up, because life doesn't work like this. It doesn't always turn out how you want it.
How can we see the documentary?
Well, the way we're doing it right now, based upon COVID and things like that, we had a couple of premieres actually in the Tampa area, but now the best way is to inbox me at Lee Woodhurd on Facebook, or hit me up on IG, Big HLW, and we're doing it through codes and links. So if you hit me up, I'll hit you with the link, and you can pay through PayPal, Cash App, whatever, and we'll make that happen. Right now, we're only charging $5 for a 48, just like the real deal. 48 hours, you'll be able to view it just like you would do on a Spectrum or something of that nature. You can get the code. Hard copies are actually going to be $7, so you can get those as well. We have 2020 shirts as well, as you can see in the background. Those are on sale for $15. I know a lot of people may not actually want to remember this year, but it's a life-changing year. Regardless, just like the logo says, you have to have both eyes open. If your one eye was closed, 2020 is showing you there's some things that are changing and some things that need to change as well.
I know you're doing a new webcast. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The new webcast. Well, that's called Transition Talks. Transition Talks is really, I don't want to sound like a commercial, but is really dedicated to inspiration, giving people inspiration and information. A lot of people are having difficulty transitioning to what the new normal is, and I'll say the new normal is understanding, how to be successful in a different climate. And I bring on guests who are not just provocative, but inspirational and successful people who drop some knowledge in terms of how they have overcome challenges and some of the secrets that they have to their success in their individual field. So it could be an actor, it could be someone who instructs yoga, it could be a variety of different people. It could be somebody from Ohio, California, it could be a comedian. So I just like to try to pull in people who have a valuable story, and it'll actually help people transition to a better life and transition more towards a successful life as well.
It sounds like you were keeping busy.
Well, if you don't keep busy, you don't stay productive, and I feel like it's all about growth and evolution. So just got to keep putting in that work, hard practice, hard performance, get good results.
What motivates you to keep doing these different projects?
I look at it like batting practice. I hope people see these different projects that I do and see that I'm consistent with my effort, and someone who's doing something that's really major reaches out to me because they see the work, the drive, the effort that I put forth. I may move to a different project, but as far as trying to be a creative, as far as trying to help other people, because it's really about the journey. It's not about the destination. You're a kid for a while, you become a young adult, you get older, you get more mature, you're supposed to get better, you're supposed to grow. And I feel like if you're not growing, you're dying. And I don't ever want to be in a situation where I stop growing.
Thank you so much for taking the time to go behind the scenes with us.
Well, thank you for participating in this interview and also interviewing me. And stay tuned because there's more to come. So this is your boy, Big Business, signing off. Please tune into the YouTube channel as well. Sharing is caring. It doesn't cost you a thing. Support each other and be great.